What's up, guys? We're here with Monday NFL playoff football action on Wildcard Weekend, finishing up things here with our last game of the week. We're going to take a deep dive on the Texans versus Steelers. I'll give out my favorite bets against the spread and over-under, and we're going to look at a bunch of NFL player props for this one. Also, we're going to cover the entire NBA slate for Monday, and we have a YouTube channel member hoodie giveaway to get to, so buckle up. We've got a great video for you today. As a thank you to me for putting together these videos every single day, you guys have been doing a great job of just smashing that like button every single day. So take that 10th of a second right now, click that little thumbs up button. Really helps keep the channel growing, keeps people coming to these videos every single day, and helps them get promoted to other people out there. So big shout out to everybody that does that. Also, check down below, make sure you're subscribed. We've seen a lot of growth in terms of subscribers. Had a buddy say this is going to be the year that I hit 100K. Well, I really hope he's right, and I couldn't possibly do it without you guys. So please take a second and hit that little thumbs up button and check and see if you are subscribed down there. Also, get down in the comments and let me know anything you want to say about these picks, about what you've seen in the NFL so far this wildcard weekend. Anything you want to say about these videos, I'm more than happy. I read every single solitary comment. I answer most of them too, as often as I get the chance. I do have a 1-year-old in the house, guys, so things can get a little bit hectic, but I'm in those comments every single day. They all come at least to my phone. If not, I see them right here on the desktop as well. So definitely get down there in the comments and check the pinned comment throughout the day, especially today. Going to be some late changes probably coming in there on the NBA side, at least, if not on this Monday Night Football game here. So definitely be checking back the pinned comment a few times during the day. It's where I put my favorite picks throughout the day, so definitely want to make sure you're getting in there. In terms of a recap, we are recording a little bit early, making sure you guys don't miss out on the early value that you can find on these games, but we got off to a decent start there, cashing the over on Dawson Knox, over 19.5 receiving yards at -114. It was a very solid day there from Josh Allen. He was spreading the ball around enough to cash Dawson Knox's over on yards, catching 3 out of 5 targets for 30 yards and a touchdown. Definitely not a bad day for him. Unfortunately, we did brick out there on the Jaguars at -1.5. It did feel kind of bad, fading Josh Allen in this game, and yeah, a late Trevor Lawrence interception ends up sealing the loss for us and for Jacksonville on that one. So that was a little bit tough. Still got lots of action going. The 49ers actually just took the lead in the fourth quarter now over the Eagles. Now they're up 17-16. We still have the under in that game. We still got the 49ers +6. Got Jalen Hurts' under on passing yards, which is also still looking live, although now they're technically trailing, maybe not quite as live. And we have the Patriots on the money line as our massive lock of the day. So we'll see how things finish up here. Obviously, don't know yet, but we're going to go ahead and dive in. We've got a very interesting, Monday night playoff football game to break down. So let's go ahead and get in there. Let's go ahead and get after it. First up, we're going to be looking at the Houston Texans as they go on the road here to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Texans finished off the regular season 12-5, which is very impressive considering they started the year 0-3, losing to the Rams, Buccaneers, and Jaguars over that stretch. But they caught fire, in the second half of the season, winning what it did end up being 9 straight or something like that. Their last few games, not exactly taking on the kings of the world, beating the very limited Colts, beating the Chargers, which that's a solid win. You beat a playoff team, beating the Raiders by 2 points, and then beating the Cardinals pretty handily. I'm not going to throw you a parade for any of those wins, but they were all wins, and you got to take care of business down the stretch. In their last game of the season, we saw CJ Stroud out there for most of the game. He went 14 of 23, or 14 of 23, so not a terrible day, but also not great. Only 169 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown. Picked off 0 times, so that's nice. Sacked 0 times, which is also nice, but all that does still not really make me feel amazing necessarily about CJ Stroud. We'll see what he can do. He has not had the best season overall. If you look at his season-long numbers, they do leave quite a bit to be desired. 19 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. Cool, he did a pretty good job taking care of the ball, but really not putting up any crazy numbers. Has he passed for over 300 yards in a single game this season? I can't think. No, he did it against the 49ers. And that's it. That's the only time this season he broke 300 yards. The dude just, not an amazing season. Definitely not the step the Texans were hoping he would take this year. So we'll see what CJ Stroud can do. Maybe this feels a little bit bad to say, but it feels like he's kind of been relegated to the kind of game manager status. So we'll see what he can do. The last time he played a very good team out there, I will call the Chargers a good team. Maybe very good is a little bit of an overstatement, but he did pass for 244 yards, 2 touchdowns, but also 2 interceptions. And that's all despite getting sacked sacked 0 times. So even when he's not getting pressured, he's finding a way to make a few mistakes and, make his life and his team's life a little bit hard. So we'll see what he can get up to in this game. The running game for Houston has been not great, especially compared to what they did a couple last season or the season before. 22nd in the NFL, averaging just a shade over 100 yards per game. Against the Colts, I mean, they did run the ball, so I have to give them some credit. But Brooks, 63 yards and 13 carries, okay, but I'm not ready to act like this is a team with some sort of amazing ability to run the ball. Woody Marks and Brooks really taking the majority of the carries here. We'll see if they can get after it in this one. I mean, running the ball against the Steelers definitely doesn't look as tough this season as it has looked in some years past. I have some question marks, though, and I also didn't think what I saw last week from their defense was that dominant. I mean, they gave 30 points against the Colts, who were really not, playing anybody. There was a Riley Leonard, Roberto Sanchez game, and I mean, they gave up 30 points. That being said, obviously they weren't taking that game quite as seriously. Over the course of the year, the Houston defense has been the best in the NFL, or maybe second, but right there, one of the best two defenses, giving up 17.4 points per game, looking very, very good, albeit not against the toughest schedule. I mean, they did hold the Chargers to 16. They held the Bills to 19. They played the 49ers and held them to 15, but that was the banged-up 49ers. Gave up 27 against the Seahawks. They did hold the Ravens to 10, but the Ravens were very banged up, and this is all very early in the season. So we'll see. This is going to be a little bit of a test. It's not like the Steelers are an offensive juggernaut either, so we'll see. I obviously am going to go into this game expecting that the Houston defense is going to play relatively well at a minimum. So looking at the injury report for this one, the Texans, they're fully healthy there on offense. No major injury concerns at all. Woody Marks ready to go. Nick Chubb ready to go. Nico Collins, he's had some injury concerns early in the season. He is rested and ready to get out there. So they should be 100% there. And on defense, they are missing some guys for the season. They have not, made it through the regular season unscathed. That's basically impossible to do, but they are technically fully healthy right now. So we'll see if that can, carry them in this game. It's really been the defense's job to carry this team effectively all season long. The offense has not been great. 13th in the NFL, putting up 23, 24 points per game. The defense, second in the NFL, giving up 17.5 points per game. So very, very good stuff defensively. Will the defense be enough to get them the win in this game? Well, we'll have to wait and see, guys. They're heading to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers, who once again, Mike Tomlin puts things together and ends up with another above 500 season. They finish things off 10-7 overall. They're the champions of the AFC North, so I'm sure they feel very, very good about that. They finished the season off with a big time, it's 26-24 win there over the Ravens in a pretty dramatic fashion. It did take a late missed field goal there from Baltimore, but that's not the easiest kicking situation there. So, the Steelers finished the year off winning 4 out of their last 5 games, including 2 wins over the Ravens. They did have that weird stinker of a game where they lost 13-6 against the Browns. Now the playoffs are upon us. Let's see what they can do here. In that win over the Ravens, like I said, a must-win game. They had no DK Metcalf in that one, and despite that, Rodgers went out and threw for 294 yards and a touchdown, picked off 0 times, sacked twice. Very, very, very good stuff there from Rodgers. He's having to move guys around to the line of scrimmage. He's just having to do so freaking much to just get this offense to operate at like a normal playoff or, a borderline, at least at that time, playoff level offense. And he made it happen. Now he's got DK Metcalf back, so that should help. Maybe having Kenneth Gainwell having a good game, Calvin Austin III have a pretty good game, Pat Freiermuth having a good game. Maybe all those things will, lead to this team actually being more functional on offense, especially now with DK Metcalf back. All these guys can move down a notch. Rodgers have his favorite option and his best option back, and maybe they can get after it. The running game for the Steelers has not necessarily been incredible this season. It's been there. Jalen Warren, 14 carries, 66 yards last week. Very good work. Rodgers actually carried the ball once for 20 yards himself. That was kind of nuts. Over the course of the year, they're 26 in the NFL, averaging just over 100 rushing yards per game, but I do think they're capable of putting up some decent running numbers. Although running the ball against the Houston Texans might not be the easiest thing to do, although they have a very solid, short passing game. They can get the ball out quick when they need to, or, go down the field a little bit, although Rodgers certainly not getting it down the field like he used to. Although you get the ball in DK Metcalf's hands, if he catches it after a 5-yard pass and takes off for 30, 40 yards, then that still counts as a long pass for Rodgers, depending on how you're looking at it. So a lot of things to like right now about the Steelers offense, especially getting DK Metcalf back. That is a big, big, big deal coming into this game. Defensively last week against the Ravens, struggled a little bit against Lamar. Now, CJ Stroud is nowhere near Lamar Jackson level. They did get an interception, but they also gave up 3 passing touchdowns and 238 passing yards. They struggled against Derrick Henry, giving up 126 yards on 20 carries. But Houston is not a team that can run the ball anything similar to what the Ravens have been able to do this season. There is no Derrick Henry walking through the door there for the Houston Texans. This is not a juggernaut of a running team. So I'm really not too bothered about what the Steelers did last week. I mean, in general, this season, their defense has been okay, kind of around middle of the pack, giving up 22.8 points per game. They, gave up only 13 points against the Browns. It was the Browns, so I'm not acting like that's amazing. Gave up 24 against the Lions in Detroit. That's not a bad showing. Gave up only 15 against the Dolphins. They did hold the Ravens down another game this season. They did give up a little bit against the Bills. Gave up 31 against the Bears earlier this year, but overall, I'm not as low on this defense as I've seen some people be this year. So I do expect them to have a pretty decent time against a very, very mediocre Houston offense. It's just not good, guys. It's just not very good. The injury report here for the Steelers looks very, very nice. Rodgers obviously healthy and ready to go. Jalen Warren, Kenneth Gainwell, both ready to get out there. DK Metcalf being back is a huge, huge deal. And he's had a couple weeks off. And the fact that they were able to make it through without him, and he got that time off, does that actually give him something of a boost here? He definitely is going to have something to prove. I'm sure he felt pretty guilty there, leaving his team in the lurch, playing very, very important games down the stretch. Well, now he's back. He's rested. He's at 110%. I'm expecting big stuff from him. The offensive line is fully healthy. Is it the best offensive line in football? I'm going to go with no, but Rodgers gets the ball out so fast, so often, maybe that won't be the end of the world. Defensively, they've got TJ Watt back. That's a big deal. They're very healthy on defense, which is a big step in the right direction for a Steelers defense that hasn't been, all the way healthy all season long. Watt missing a bunch of time there with that super weird dry needling incident. That was very, very, you don't see that every day, guys. But overall, they're healthy and ready to go for this game, so that's a great, great thing if you're a Steelers fan. Now, Pittsburgh is playing this game at home. They're getting 3 points. We've got a total here of 45.5. Houston is 9-8 against the spread. They're 4-4 against the spread on the road. They are 10-6-1 to the under this year. The Steelers, they are 9-8 against the spread, 5-3 against the spread at home. They are 9-7-1 to the over. The weather in this one, spoiler alert, guys, is going to be pretty freaking cold in Pittsburgh, around 30 degrees. There's a very small chance of rain, and we've got 8-mile-an-hour winds. So that shouldn't have a massive impact on the kicking game or the passing game, obviously, but it can be kind of swirly. It can be kind of weird there in Pittsburgh, as we've seen. So I don't think we're going to be getting too involved in kicking props, and I also don't think these teams are going to be very comfortable taking super long field goals. In terms of our lean towards the total in this one, guys, I will take under 45.5. I think we see a very low-scoring, defensive-oriented kind of game. I don't think anybody's going to go out there and throw for 400 yards in this one, or maybe even not even 300 yards in this one. But I do think we're going to see, a lot of attempts at least to run the ball. We'll see what varying levels of success we have there. Lots of ground game and lots of trying to limit the mistakes. In terms of a side, I'm taking the Steelers here, getting 3 points. I'll back Aaron Rodgers over CJ Stroud in this spot. I don't trust Stroud outside in this kind of cold. I just don't trust him in general since he's had a pretty mediocre season overall. Houston running game doesn't seem capable of carrying this team in this spot. And with DK Metcalf back and rested, I think we're going to see big stuff from him and Rodgers, even going against an elite level defense. Also, guys, the Steelers have been insanely good. I know this is a long-term historic trend, which sometimes those are good, sometimes those are bad, but they've been incredibly successful over the last 20 years or something crazy when playing on Monday Night Football. And the fact they're getting a full field goal in this spot just makes it too good to pass up on. I've also got a few player props that I like for this game as well. And first up, I'll take CJ Stroud under 32.5 passing attempts here at -114. He's been under this number 4 of his last 5 games. Houston would do almost anything to keep this game out of his hands as long as they can. I haven't liked what I've seen from Stroud in general this season, and his last time against a decent defense there in the Chargers, he had 28 attempts, and that seems higher than what they will want to ideally happen in this one. On the Steelers side, I'll take Rodgers over 204.5 passing yards at -114. He's been over this number 4 of their last 5 games. I expect him to be on point here in the playoffs. Also, Metcalf being back is a big deal for him. Rodgers was kind of making things work out there even without him in a huge game there to end the regular season. I definitely don't sense any sort of Rodgers fall off here when the lights are the brightest, and he's playing at home. That's definitely a nice little boost. On the Houston side, I'll take Dalton Schultz over 42.5 receiving yards at -115. He's been good this season in general, and coming off a very big day there against the Colts to end the regular season seems like a good spot to back him here. Also, if the Steelers are doubling Nico or something like that, maybe there's more space out there for Schultz to operate, and maybe he gets a few more looks. Also, he's not somebody they're going to be needing to push the ball down the field to necessarily. He'll catch those short passes and make up what yardage he can. So maybe a comfort spot here for Stroud to maybe target him a little bit. On the Steelers side, I'll take DK Metcalf over 54.5 receiving yards here at -114. He's rested. I think this is going to play out in a very nice way for him and Rodgers. And while we will be, he'll be the main focus there of that Houston defense in this spot, I still think we're going to see a very good game from him. Lots of work being done after the catch as well. So definitely a nice DK Metcalf spot. I do like Jaylen Warren here under 51.5 rushing yards at -108. The Steelers are going to be more than happy to put the ball in Rodgers' hands, let him decide things. He's just not going to have a great time against a Houston defense that's very, very good. I'm expecting him to struggle. They're going to put this, the ball is going to be on, this is Rodgers. Rodgers has to win this game. I don't think it's going to be up to Jaylen Warren here. Could he get some work? Sure. Especially if they end up getting up big, they're going to want to run the ball, but I just don't think they're going to find that much success in the ground game there against the Texans. And our last prop here before we hop over and look at the full NBA slate on Monday, we got to check out Woody Marks. I'll take him to score a touchdown in this game. He hasn't been doing a fantastic job of finding the end zone. This team doesn't score a ton of touchdowns in general, but getting 2-1 on Marks in this specific spot against this defense actually feels like a reasonable spot to me. 2-1 is not bad. I always like to mix in a couple small touchdown plays when I get the chance, especially on a game like this. So I think Woody Marks is the one I'm going to go with today. Now, guys, before we hop in and break down the entire Monday NBA slate, we got to shout out the sponsor of today and every day's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now is a great time to dive in because our premium members are getting daily NBA, NHL, UFC, NFL, college football, and college basketball picks. Coming off a big wildcard weekend there of NFL action. More of that coming up next week. Tons of stuff, happening in the college football playoff here coming up. Lots and lots of great college basketball and, NBA action every single day. And NHL has been absolutely popping off tons and tons of games over there. So it's a fantastic time to become a premium member over at StumpTheSpread.com. Tons and tons of picks coming out there every single day. And the amount of research that's put in by our team on every single one of those plays is pretty crazy. So when those end up paying off, we are definitely not too shocked. So definitely a good time to get over there and get in the mix at StumpTheSpread.com as a premium member. But we've got lots of free stuff over there as well. There are free picks posted every single day under the free picks tab. And guys, those come straight from our premium handicappers. So definitely check those out. It's a great way to get a little taste of what the premium members get. You also want to get over there and get on the email newsletter. That email newsletter is a fantastic resource. A bunch of touchdown props have already cashed for this wildcard weekend, and we haven't even finished all the games. There's touchdown props in those emails every single week. There's tons of great information on a daily basis covering all the major sports. There could be free picks on college basketball, NBA, NHL, NFL, college football, you name it. It could be in those emails on a daily basis. There are parlays in there. There's all kinds of great information on niche sports betting like golf, NASCAR, tennis, WNBA, UFC, all kinds of good stuff like that. That email newsletter is absolutely free. It's very easy to sign up. You just go to StumpTheSpread.com and set up a free account. They're going to ask you for your name and your email address. That's it. You get one email straight to your inbox every single solitary day, just packed with great sports betting information. So make sure that you are not missing out on that. Also, if you're a huge fan of what you're seeing from us here every single day, you can click that little join button right below the video to sign up for a YouTube channel membership. YouTube channel members get early access to all of our videos, get their name up on screen in every single video, but maybe most importantly, they get access to our members-only giveaways. Guys, we're giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie here every single solitary Monday, and as luck would have it for you guys, today is Monday. The way these giveaways works, if you guys haven't seen this already, we put the name of every single YouTube channel member on this big wheel that you're seeing on the screen right now. We click the button like you're seeing happen right now. This wheel spins, and whoever it lands on gets a free Stump the Spread hoodie of their size mailed straight to their address of choice. It looks like this week's winner is going to be Big X. Big X, you won a free Stump the Spread hoodie. Big shout out to you for being a channel member. Get down there in the comments. Let us know that you see that you won, and I'll give you further instructions on how to claim your hoodie, and we'll get it out to you ASAP. Could be to your address in as little as 7 days. That's what we love to do. We do these giveaways every single week, and we also have these Stump the Spread hoodies available for purchase. You just go over to StumpTheSpread.com, click the little shop tab. You can pick up one of them for $40. That includes shipping and handling and all that kind of stuff. We'll get it to you. It could be to you in as little as a week. So definitely, if you're interested, go over there and snap up one of those Stump the Spread hoodies, or become a YouTube channel member, and you'll get a chance every single week to win one of those hoodies. But now, guys, let's go ahead and dive back in. Make sure you've hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and let's hop over and look at some NBA action. First up here, guys, on a nice busy little NBA slate, we've got the Utah Jazz heading to Cleveland to take on the Cavaliers. Now, the Jazz, they're coming off a 55-point loss there against the Hornets, so they are in quite the bounce-back situation, but in that game, they were extremely banged up. The Jazz have actually been pretty decent this season overall. I have to take my hat off to them. You've acquired too much talent. Like, if you want to be tanking this year, you're going to have to get rid of some guys or start sitting some guys or something, because obviously no Markkanen, he sat out that game for rest. No Nurkic, he's played well. No Mikhailuk for this game, he's actually been pretty decent. We saw, bad stuff. Keontae George was terrible in this game. In general, he's been great this season. So this will actually be a spot we'll be looking for Keontae George to bounce back and be looking at some potential player props backing him as long as he's available for this game, because he has had a great breakout season. We didn't hit what we saw from Walter Clayton Jr. or Isaiah Collier coming off the bench. Kevin Love, 2 points in his 15 minutes. Not a great day there from Grandpa Kevin Love, but overall, a terrible showing from Utah. But in general, this season, we've liked a lot of what we've seen. They've played well. They've played some tough games against some tough opponents. Almost knocked off the Thunder the other night. Like, they've been a very reasonable team. We obviously do have injury concerns for them in this game, but most importantly, Keontae George is going to be out there for this one, and Lauri Markkanen is going to be out there for this one. So those are two guys you definitely want to watch in terms of player props. They could be, pretty valuable, especially think Keontae George will have a bounce back. So once player props are posted for this day, maybe be checking back the pinned comment, because we could end up working one of them in there. We'll see. But definitely this is a good spot for Keontae George. Ace Bailey and Nurkic are both still on the injury report. Bailey dealing with that hip issue is officially questionable. If he does come back, that does give this team a nice little boost coming off the bench. So, or maybe being in the starting lineup, depending on how they decide to juggle that. But either way, Ace Bailey coming back would be nice. Nurkic, he's dealing with that toe issue, but he's listed as probable. So I think we will see him back out there. And he's been, basically averaging a double-double this season. His presence on the floor is definitely a net positive for this team. Is he ready to help a contender? I don't know if that's the case, but there are teams out there that could use a center like Nurkic over what they've currently got on the roster. So we'll see what happens with him down the stretch this year. The Jazz are going on the road in this one to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, the Cavaliers, they're 22-18 on the season. They just split a little 2-game series there against the Timberwolves. It was a home-and-home series. They lost at Minnesota, then won 146-134 at home. Not a great look for the defense. That Cleveland defense has not been great, but offensively, obviously, in a game where you put up 146 points, they looked amazing. What did they? They ended up shooting 48% from three, made 21 of their 25 free throws. They did get a little bit crushed on the boards, which isn't great, but they got 28 points from Donovan Mitchell, 24 from Evan Mobley, which is a big deal. A nice 16-11 night there from Jarrett Allen. Garland had 22 very efficient points. That's a big deal. And Jalen Tyson, guys, oh my God, that dude's looked good. He went 4 of 4 from 3, 9 of 12 from the field, and had 23 points in 26 minutes. He's balling. He's actually making DeAndre Hunter look a little bit unnecessary, and he had a terrible game out there. I would not be, I know the whole cap situation with the Cavaliers is pretty messed up, but there are definitely teams out there that could use, maybe a revitalized DeAndre Hunter if he got moved somewhere else. So we'll see what Cleveland can do in this game. They have not had the smoothest season. They're only 4 games above 500. That is not what they were supposed to be doing. They were supposed to be just running roughshod over the East. That just has not been the case. Injuries have been a little bit of a thing for them, but not that big of a thing, and they're very healthy coming into this one. No Dean Wade, so he won't be out there, but other than that, they're very healthy and ready to go. Sam Merrill's back out there. That's all been, that's taken care of. Jalen Tyson's ready to go. Mobley's playing well and ready to get out there, so everything pointed in the right direction here. Now, the Cavaliers, they're 13-point favorites at home. That's a pretty big number. We've got a total here of 247.5. These are early numbers, so expect some line movement here. Utah, they're much better at home than on the road. They're 7-10 against spread on the road. They are 14-10 against spread after a loss. They are 24-14 to the over, so a pretty big over team. Cleveland, they are 7-16. 7-16 against spread at home. That's an NBA worst against spread mark at home. They're also 7-14 against the spread when they're coming off a win. They're a slight under team, which is actually kind of shocking. In terms of the total here, it's a very big number, but I would lean a bit towards the over. I think we'll see plenty of offense out there. That is under the impression that everybody's going to play for the Jazz. And if that's going to be the case, definitely give me Utah here getting 13 points. Maybe, you could wait a little bit, but I think this goes down more likely than it goes up. So give me the Utah Jazz here. Anything double digits, I think, is a very, very good spot for them. I think they can turn this into very much a real game, and especially with a rested Markkanen, a rested Nurkic, this one should be very, very close. And Keontae George is in a bounce-back spot, so keep an eye on his props. I think this is a very, very good spot and could potentially be our dog of the day. Rolling right along here, we're looking at the Boston Celtics heading to Indiana to take on the Pacers. The Celtics come into this one 24-14 on the season, so having a pretty good time. They're fresh off a 5-point loss there against the Spurs, where Jaylen Brown was very, very unhappy with the officiating. I have seen some pretty bad officiating in the NBA this season. I don't know if that game was particularly egregious. He does have a valid point. I mean, the Celtics shot almost very, very few free throws in that game. The Spurs shot 20 and the Celtics shot 4. So I'd probably be complaining after that game as well. We liked what we saw from Boston in terms of Derek White, 29 points. He was very, very good. Jaylen Brown had 27, although very inefficient shooting numbers. Pritchard had a huge fall off. He was coming off a big game. Didn't look that great the next time out. Luka Garza continues to put up nice numbers off the bench. Shireman also had a good day off the bench. They played well. They kept things even on the boards. They just end up coming up 5 points short. And when you lose a close game to a tough opponent and you see that they shot 20 free throws and you shot 4, I don't blame Jaylen Brown for being too upset. So we'll see if the Celtics have some sort of bounce back in them in this one, or which direction they're going to head. I would lean more towards it being a potential bounce back. They're not the kind of team that seems likely to wallow. I also haven't heard how much Jaylen Brown's going to be fined for that little outburst. We'll see. Jaylen Brown is on the injury report. He's actually doubtful to play in this game versus the Pacers due to lower back spasms. And as somebody who's dealing with a little bit of lower back pain right now, I can totally wrap my head around not being able to play in a basketball game if your lower back is all messed up. Sam Hauser's on the injury report as well. He's questionable there with a hamstring issue. So the Celtics not going to be at full strength probably. No Jaylen Brown is a big, big deal for them. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Indiana Pacers. They come into this game 8-31 on the season, so not exactly killing it, but they have won back-to-back games. They beat the Hornets in Charlotte in a very close one. Then Nembhard went off for 29 points there to help the Pacers get their second straight win of the year, and a pretty comfortable win there over the Heat. This Indiana team, I think, could actually be winning a few more games. I don't think they're intentionally tanking necessarily, but they are so much better off to be losing these games than putting up a ton of wins. Siakam actually had one of his worst games of the season there in that win. 26 minutes, only 11 points, 4 of 15 from the field. That's not what we've come accustomed to seeing from Siakam. Walker was pretty good off the bench. TJ McConnell is back and looking pretty solid off the bench as well. He went 2 of 2 from 3. Bro needs to shoot more threes, just make it happen. But they shot 43% from 3. They ended up with a little edge on the boards. And overall, the Pacers just are kind of a different animal when playing at home. So liking a lot of what we're seeing from Indiana. The injury report isn't great. Mathurin seems like he's still going to be out for this game. Yeah, he's going to be out. He's been officially ruled out with that thumb. In Nembhard, guys, he's on the injury report. He's dealing with a back issue. He's questionable for this one. So if he sits out, that's obviously a very big deal in this matchup. The Pacers are getting 8 points. We've got a total of 226.5. Boston, not a bad road team. They are 12-7 against spread on the road. They're 8-5 against spread after a loss. They are 21-17 to the under. The Pacers are 12-9 against spread at home, 5-2 against spread after a win. They are 24-15 to the under themselves. Do I want to take under 226.5 in this game? Feels a little bit sketchy to me, but given these trends, I think you have to at least consider taking it. In terms of a side, with no Jaylen Brown out there, I am going to take the Pacers at +8. I think this is a big bounce back spot for Siakam. I don't think Boston has any great options to guard him, really, and I think that's going to make life very, very tough for the Celtics. Do they potentially sneak a win here, even with Jaylen Brown sidelined? Maybe. But I think the Pacers keep this to a one-possession game down the stretch, especially playing at home where they've been so much better. Next on the docket, guys, we're going to be looking at Game 2 of this little two-game series between the 76ers and the Toronto Raptors. Unfortunately, Game 1 is not quite finished yet. We're recording early, kind of trying to do a reset on the old sleep schedule that's gotten way out of hand here recently, but we'll be updating the pinned comment, so stay tuned for that. The 76ers, currently, they are down by 10 at halftime there against the Raptors. It's got to be nice for the 76ers to have Kelly Oubre back, but they did not have Embiid in Game 1, so we do pretty much expect them to have Embiid here in Game 2. Maxi's playing, but he's young. He has no trouble playing on back-to-back nights. Same goes for VJ Edgecombe to even a bigger extent. Quentin Grimes kind of in the same bucket. So I don't think we'll see Paul George here in Game 1. I do think we'll see Paul George in Game 2, and he's actually playing a little bit better. Not amazing, not definitely looking like he's worth the insane salary number that he's getting right now, but he's looking okay. So we'll see who the 76ers have available for this game. Their injury report looks about how you would expect it to look. I do expect Embiid to be back for the second game of this deal. I mean, he got ruled out, knee/groin issue. I do think that we'll probably see him, play here on the second half of the back-to-back. Sounds like it's no big deal. He is going to be out there. The Raptors, they've been dealing with some injuries as well. Pretty banged up. They've had Ingram, R.J. Barrett, and Jakob Poeltl's been missing a ton of time recently. So we'll see, if anything is going to change in a major way with that. In their current game, they ended up a starting lineup of Scotty Barnes, Murray Bowles, Quickly, Shaheed, and Jacoby Walter. So not exactly their full squad. We'll see if any of these guys are able to come back. Brandon Miller missing time right now with that thumb issue. I'd be a little bit surprised to see him play here even in the second half of the back-to-back. RJ Barrett dealing with that ankle issue, also out. It sounds like, I would be a little bit surprised to see him come back. Jakob Poeltl's been missing quite a bit of time, so I do think he'll probably still be out, but that's a little bit more up in the air. But I'd be pretty surprised to see RJ Barrett out there, and I'd be pretty surprised to see Brandon Ingram out there either. So looking at the trends for this game, guys, the 76ers are 13-4 against the spread on the road this year. They are 6-0 against the spread on no rest. 6-0. They are 19-17 to the over. Toronto, they're 8-12 against spread at home. 2-5 against the spread on no rest, and 24-15 to the under. Guys, it would take some pretty crazy number for us to not want to be on the 76ers in this game. So make sure you're checking back on the pinned comment. This is a play that could end up being a premium pick, could end up being the pinned comment as well, but I certainly think it's very likely that we're going to want to back the Philadelphia 76ers in this one. The trends pointed that way so drastically, and if Embiid is out there for this game, like plays for the 76ers, which we expect him to do, the Raptors have really no good options to defend him, so I think that will help in a big way. Next on the dock, we're looking at the Brooklyn Nets going on the road to take on the Dallas Mavericks. Now, this is also going to be game 2 of a little 2-game doubleheader. Am I correct about? No. I'm incorrect about that. Brooklyn, they're going to be playing on no rest because they are they're getting ready to play. Who do they end up playing? Oh no, they played this morning. That's why I couldn't find it. Yeah, they played an early game. They ended up losing 103-98 there against Memphis. Not a terrible showing. Obviously, you're not necessarily supposed to be losing to Memphis, but if you're the Brooklyn Nets, life has not been that easy. We saw no Michael Porter Jr. didn't play in that game due to rest. We do expect him to play in this one, unless there's some trade going on, which is not impossible, but I would say at least borderline unlikely. Not loving the Cam Thomas experience. He came off the bench, 24 minutes, 9 points, 4 of 12 from the field. He's not playing great. This Brooklyn team really needs to tank things out, and Michael Porter Jr. has just been complicating that experience for them. They need to be losing games right now, and if they're not, they need to change something. Now, will they trade Michael Porter Jr. away? I'm sure if they get offered the right, offer, they would, but we'll see if that's actually a thing. Just sat this game out for rest. I do expect him to play in this one as they go on the road to take on the Dallas Mavericks. Now, the Mavs are 14-25 on the season. Their hopes for this season have taken a big hit there with Anthony Davis going down, which is actually hilarious that Nico Harrison, that idiot, thought that trading for Anthony Davis was going to give them a star that was going to play more than Luka Doncic. Like, Luka always plays. He doesn't play defense, but he always plays. So we'll see what they can do. They're fresh off a 125-107 loss to the Bulls. I mean, you can only ask so much from this team, honestly. I mean, Cooper Flag was pretty bad. He was pretty bad out there in that one. He's been great this season overall, but not a good showing from him. Only 4 of 13 from the field. Nobody really had a very good time out there for this. It was a rough game. It was a rough night. Nothing really great cooking for the Mavs in that one. They end up getting kind of blown away by a Bulls team that's nowhere near full strength. The Mavs come into this game looking a little bit banged up. Probably no PJ Washington. Is that confirmed? He's doubtful for this game. So, I don't think they're going to be playing him. Brandon Williams, he's also on the injury report. So, not a lot of things pointed in the right direction right now for the Dallas Mavericks. There are no numbers out for this game, unfortunately, but we do have some interesting trends to look at. Brooklyn, they're 8-6-1 against spread on the road. 0-6 against the spread on no rest, but Michael Porter Jr. will be rested coming into this game. We've got a trend here towards the under for Brooklyn. They're 20-15 to the under. Dallas, they are 11-9 against spread at home, 11-13 against spread after a loss, 23-16 to the under. So depending on what the number is, we could be theoretically interested in under in this game. I don't think we're going to see some crazy offensive explosion from either one of these two teams. So maybe lean a bit towards the under. In terms of a side, we're just going to have to wait and see what the number is. I am pretty low on the Dallas Mavericks. They've really sucked this season when Anthony Davis isn't playing. So might want to lean towards the Nets in this one, even though they're playing on no rest. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we're looking at the Los Angeles Lakers heading to the Sacramento Kings. Now, we'll see what goes on in this one. Obviously, a little bit of a heated situation there with the Schroeder situation, but he's going to be suspended. Now, the Lakers, they're 23-13. They lost 2 in a row, falling to the Bucks and Spurs coming into this one, so they've got work to do, especially on the defensive end. Luka's putting up crazy numbers against the Bucks. LeBron actually led the team in scoring with 26 points. Luka struggled, only had 24, went 8 of 25 from the field, 4 of 6 from 3. The Lakers lost despite shooting 42% from 3. Maybe they'll start listening to JJ Redick and playing some defense. We'll see what happens, but I'm not going to be holding my breath for them to suddenly look like a real defensive team. They're trying to get good minutes out of Jake LaRavia. That's a pretty big ask. DeAndre Ayton's starting to look useless again, which is a big problem. So not a lot of things pointing in the right direction right now for the Lakers. Their injury report coming in this game looks similar to what we've been seeing. They're not going to have Austin Reeves back. LeBron and Luka are ready to go, though. So we'll see what they can do on the road against the Sacramento Kings, who will be playing on no rest. They've yet to tip off there against the Rockets. So they're going to play the Rockets at home, then they're going to play the Lakers at home. So they're going to, they don't have to travel for this, no rest kind of situation. But they have a lot of old guys that have dealt with a lot of injuries on their roster. I mean, DeMar DeRozan playing on back-to-back nights, that's probably going to be rough. Zach LaVine playing on back-to-back nights, that could be a little bit rough. Russell Westbrook, I mean, he's old, but he's a psychopath, so maybe he'll be fine, and Schroeder being suspended is obviously not great. This team is constantly in trade rumors, so we'll see what they can put together. They are getting 8.5 points at home. We've got a total of 230 in this game. The Lakers are 11-8 against spread on the road. They are 9-3 against spread after a loss. They're 21-15 to the over. The Kings are 6-12 against spread at home. 1-5 against the spread on no rest, and they're 21-17 to the under. Guys, I'll definitely take the Lakers here at -8.5. I'm probably going to jump on this just in case it moves once we get news about who the Kings could potentially sit here on the second half of back-to-back. So yeah, give me the Lakers to win this one by double digits. Last but not least here, guys, we're looking at the Charlotte Hornets heading to Los Angeles to take on the Clippers. Now, the Hornets have been one of our favorite teams to back this season. They're coming off a 55-point win there over the Utah Jazz, so everything's looked pretty freaking good in that one. Obviously, just across the board, everybody played great in that game. We liked what we saw from Brandon Miller, liked what we saw from LaMelo Ball. Concanopoulos had 12 points in only 18 minutes. They didn't have to play him too much. 20 points off the bench from Trey Mann in only 12 minutes. He was absolutely cooking out there. Just overall, very good. Colin Sexton is a great guy to have bring off the bench. We saw Grant Williams get back out there, shoot 10 threes and make 3 of them. So not exactly a transcendent shooting night, but they just destroyed a shorthanded Utah Jazz team in this game. So very good work there from the Hornets. Loving what we're seeing from them, honestly. This team is a pretty interesting young squad. I don't know, what they're going to do this season in terms of winning, but they've got a lot of really good pieces on that roster, and they're fully healthy as they go on the road to take on the LA Clippers. Now, the Clippers, they've had a rough season. They're 15-23 overall, but they're coming off a nice win. They're a 98-92 win there at Detroit. They're back home now, and they had won 3 out of their last 4, so maybe things are pointed in the right direction. In that rock fight of a win there over the Pistons, Kawhi was good. 26 points, 8 of 13 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3. He was a plus 12. John Collins. It feels like they finally figured out how to use John Collins. I'm not sure why it took this long, but he was very good in this game. Zubac was productive. Harden was fine out there, although shot the ball really poorly from the field. Did make 10 out of 11 free throws, so suddenly he's getting back to the free throw line again. The bench, though, is a black hole of production. There's just no production coming from the bench here for the Clippers. So we'll see. We'll see what they can put together in this one. Their injury report's always very important, but they are looking very healthy for this game. Obviously, no Derrick Jones Jr., and they're still not going to have Bogdanovich, but even when he was available, he wasn't very helpful. So we'll see what the Clippers can do here against a Charlotte team that's looking kind of deep right now. They're 4-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 228. The Hornets are 12-8 against spread on the road, 7-6 against spread after a win, 24-15 to the under. The Clippers are 7-11 against spread at home, 7-7 against spread after a win, 20-18 to the under. I like under 228 in this game quite a bit. I don't think we're going to see a crazy amount of offense. Neither one of these teams is really going to light it up, especially, the Hornets coming off that crazy game. So under feels very reasonable, and I also like the Hornets here getting 4 points. The Clippers have no bench. The Hornets do have a bench. That's going to come back to bite them in this game in a big way. And also, these Clippers, not a great defensive. I don't know. I don't have a lot of good things to say about the Clippers. The Hornets have been very good. They're getting points in this spot. I think they're very live in this game. Guys, that's all the games we have here for today. Do me a big favor, keep on slamming that like button. We need all the likes we can possibly get. Help me get these videos promoted out there and keep me motivated to grind these videos out every single day. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, if you're old around here, if you just don't know if you're subscribed or not, get down there and check. See if you're subscribed. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers, hopefully this year. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. I'm more than happy to get back to you. You can ask me a question about anything you want or just give me a comment. I'll be more than happy to get back to you. I at least read and often answer every single comment. I appreciate you guys watching these videos. Make sure you're clicking the link in the description to get over there and check out stumpthespread.com. Tons of premium picks every single day. A crazy amount of work going into those. Check that free picks tab as well. That's a good way to sample the free picks and sample the premium picks, actually. And that's you got to go over there and get on that free email newsletter, guys. That's a fantastic resource every single day. Guys, we'll see you right back here tomorrow. Same time, same place for more sports betting action.